academy that helps all these incredible young people succeed in this program and move on to pretty incredible careers and lives in life science and biotech. We created that document, many of you have, so feel free to follow along, ask questions, ask them about what they've been working on at their internship. But really, we're here today to hear their story and what they learned here at the Academy. John's going to move the program forward and ask some great questions, and then leave time for all of you to ask questions of these students. If you've not been here to the Academy with the new biomanufacturing expansion and this new classroom, this is what we envision doing in this space. We're gathering people like this, so we're all so pleased to have you here with us. And it always feels a lot bigger when you cram it full of people that love your organization and support your cause. It feels even more warm and welcoming. So with that, I'll turn it over to John, and thank you all for coming.
Thanks, Logan. Welcome, everybody. Great to see everyone. And none of this is possible without your guys' support. So it's really great to see everyone, and I can't wait to hear what these guys have to say after 3 months of being on internship. So as a lot of you guys know, I say this every year, but it is in fact the truth. This is my favorite moment, this hour that we're going to spend. I work all year for this stuff. So I get to see these students when they come through the door in September, and I get to watch how they've grown throughout the course of the 7 months that we had them, and then 3 months of this internship. And now is the time where you get to hear that growth. So I literally, this is the 1 hour all year that I work for. I'm excited for you to meet these guys. They are a courageous group, passionate about what they do and what they were learning. And my feeling is that they actually taught us more than we taught them along the way. So before we begin, I'd like to recognize the people who made this class possible. So our lead teacher, Steve Anderson. Katie Salazar, our Nell and Harlan, our other laboratory some of you may recognize Nell. She was in our inaugural class at the Academy and is now teaching with us, which is really cool to see that come back. She went out to industry and then came back to teach, which is it's nice to see that come. And then finally, our volunteer instructors, Mr. Joe Rosa. Mr. Neil Blitzstein. And Stefan Bramo. Yeah, right. So honestly, it's the unshakable dedication of the instructional staff here at the Academy who makes these students possible. We couldn't do it without you guys, so thank you for everything you've done. To start the program, I'm going to ask the students to introduce themselves to you. So you guys, what I'm going to ask you to do is tell us your name, where you're from, where you did your internship, and what you were doing prior to coming to the Academy. Okay, so name, where you're from, where you did your internship, what you were doing prior. I can remind you. Okay. Repetition is good. You learn that teaching. Better off go up. And then what I'm going to do is I'll ask the students specific questions about their experience here at the Academy and at the internship. And then I'm going to end with opening the floor to you guys to hear your questions to the students. So let me start with Diana. I think I just gave away your name. So tell us name, where you're from, where you did your internship, what you were doing prior.
Okay, I'm Leanna Ford. I'm from Gloucester, Massachusetts. I'm an intern at Twist Bioscience, which I'm currently still an intern. I'm hoping to get a job at in September, early October. Sorry, last question.
Where's Twist?
San Francisco. I will be back in San Francisco on Friday.
Wow.
Here.
And what were you doing prior?
Oh, I was in high school. I was actually trying to get into the Marines, and John helped me get into the program.
Wow. That's it. All right. So who's next? Coda.
Hi, I'm Coda. I am from right here in Gloucester, and I work over at Tenza out in Chinatown. And before coming to the academy, I was attempting to get my way through college, but with the pandemic, I wasn't able to handle the remote classes, and so GBA offered me a really good way to get into the sciences, which I was already trying to do. But in a way that guaranteed me a better position and far more hands-on than I think a college degree could have offered me, and far faster as well.
What were your offering?
Colby. I'm from Ipswich. I did my internship in Charlestown at a company called Maury. And before this, I was also trying to get my way through college, and I was working as a cook part-time, struggling through the pandemic.
I'm Holly, originally from Gloucester, now in Gloucester. I've been doing my internship at Walden Bioscience in Temple Square in Cambridge. And prior to this, I was doing tax assessment. Yeah. They didn't like me as much as they like me here.
Go ahead.
Hi everyone, my name is Izzy Pisano. I am originally from Los Angeles, California. I moved here to Gloucester about a few years ago. I now live in Gloucester, Rockland area, and I'm interning, or was interning at Walden Biosciences. I recently was hired, and I will be working with them long term, full time, which I'm really excited about. What else? Wasn't even prior to this. I was doing Spanish interpreting for Gloucester Public School System. Did some nanny student mentoring here in the area during the pandemic for a lot of students that were dealing with the online learning. I was in-house helping the students. Not sure if I missed that question. Is there anything else?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Christina Gambiani. I'm from Gloucester, Massachusetts, and I was doing my internship over at Seismic Therapeutics in Cambridge, Boston. So before this, I was working over in the Northeast Animal Shelter. So I was pursuing my passion of providing better care for animals. And yeah, so I stayed there for a while, and then I found an opportunity to become a part of this class, and that's why I'm here today.
Hi, I'm Nikki, short for Nicola, and I'm from Danvers. I did my internship at Spectrus, and before coming to Gloucester Biotechnology Academy, I was at the Macy program at Salem State, which is a program for people with developmental disabilities.
Where's Spectrus?
Spectrus is in the Cummings Center in Beverly, and it is a proteomics lab that does mass spectrometry.
Hi, I'm Giovanna. I'm from Gloucester. I did my internship at Lifeline Therapeutics here in Gloucester. I have 3 more months of that. And before I came to the academy, I was also struggling to go through college and working as a vet. My name is Corey Johnson. I did an internship at Lifeline Therapeutics in Cambridge. Prior to this, I was going to school just to answer a little bit about my results of my internship. And I would say
Good morning, everyone. My name is Cher. I'm from Boston, Massachusetts.
You got your name and where you're from.
Yeah.
I want to hear where you repeat your internship. What you're doing prior.
So currently at Sherlock Bioscience in Watertown. Prior to this, I was in the medical field, and I heard about this program through a friend watched before it was even finished, and it just lit me up, and I just couldn't wait to start. But yeah.
Hello, my name is Colin. I am from PUD Mass. I interned at Synologic and I'm currently hired, so I'll be back there next week. Before this, I dropped out of college and I was trying to go to school to become an HVAC technician, but then a family friend told me about this program and I thought it was a much better career choice rather than just doing HVAC. I think I could do better with help. You know what I mean?
Hi, I'm Socrates Longinaitis. I am from East Lyme, Connecticut, and came from East Lyme, Connecticut to go to the academy. I was lucky to have family who lived near the academy, so I could come here and continue my career in sciences. I was actually a graduate from high school at that time and was not accepted in any of the colleges that I wanted to go to, but still wanted to find a way to put myself and get involved in sciences, and had an opportunity here. I'm currently intern at the NOAA Fisheries Lab located in Milford, Connecticut, and had just got back from sea about a couple of days ago. Been out there for about 2.5 weeks, and am planning on hopefully going back to school in the spring to continue going for marine sciences, from which I'll use to find hopefully better improvement to the environment at some point. I think I got it all.
Yeah. Nailed it.
I'm Brianna. I'm from Ipswich, and I'm interning at GFGI until August. And before this, I was in high school.
I'm Kayla. I'm from Gloucester. I'm currently an intern at Dana Barber in Boston. And before this, I was a customer service manager at Shaw's.
All right, so now you guys have your introduction to all the students. I'm going to ask them specific questions, and then once we're done with that, I'll open the floor to you guys to sort of hit any other questions that I may not have gotten to. So, first question is going to Rihanna. What made you apply to the academy? Was there anything specific that influenced your decision?
I heard about the academy from my favorite science teacher in high school, and she explained it to me that it was a year program and you go right into the field right away, and it's all a hands-on experience. And she knew that that's how I learned best. I don't learn just sitting in front of a room when someone's lecturing. I need the hands-on, and so that factor about the academy is that you get into the lab and you get right into working a career. So that's pretty much what made me want to go here right away.
Thank you. So Christina, what surprised you about the academy, and did you have anything that surprised yourself?
Yeah, so what most surprised me about the academy was that it was so accessible. Well, we got help if we needed help to get in, and then just basically how kind everyone was here. I thought it was really uplifting and supportive, which was really important to me. And then I guess what most surprised me about myself was that I was able to learn as much math as I was able to learn. I've been out of college for 5-ish years now, so it's been a while since I've had to use those types of skills. So it was kind of nice to learn some new tricks.
Anything that surprised you about yourself?
Oh, learning the new tricks. Yeah, learning the new math.
Okay.
So yeah, I think that's what really surprised me about myself.
So Kayla, I'm gonna ask you the same question. What surprised you about the academy? What surprised you about yourself?
What surprised me about the academy is how accommodating and hands-on everything is. And there's a lot of one-on-one with the teachers, so you never feel uncomfortable. You always can go and ask questions, and it never makes you feel like you're not smart enough or that you're not gonna be able to do it. They're always there for you at the end of the day, no matter what you're struggling with. One thing that surprised me most about myself is definitely being building confidence. Looking at myself a year ago before I started the program, I never really would have thought that I am where I'm at. Because of the academy, I'm where I am.
I think it's the biggest thing. Yeah. You guys can all do this. It's just a matter of understanding it. It's the confidence piece. So, Coda, can you talk about a challenge that you faced and how you overcame it?
I have been in my internship, I've been recently given an independent project after I finished my original one. And of course, I was sort of envisioning it as this, test of my ability. My first independent project. Yes, I need to get it perfect. But it hasn't been going fantastically. But I guess what's been nice about it is learning how to sort of navigate through all this troubleshooting for how do I make this cloning work, and how do I communicate my results to the people who can help me troubleshoot better. All these things that just help make the process easier. And it's been a really good learning experience for me to be able to learn how to communicate these results with everyone, and how to look at things from a new angle. And really, just everything that I've learned over this past year has been helping me with that.
Well, I'm going to ask you the same question. Can you tell me about a challenge you faced?
So a challenge I faced at my internship was there was only 3 of us at the time when I was hired, and then they just hired the employees not too long ago, and when they hired them, the 3 people that were supposed to be training them all had COVID. So I had to step up and set up everything for them to do, help train what they needed to be trained in, and just, prove to myself that I can step up when the challenge comes.
So you're an intern training.
Until someone from the Cambridge branch could come down and help out, I was pretty much the intern training the hired employees. Yes.
I love it. This says this program doesn't work.
I know. Seriously.
Cora, how about you?
Yes, so like one experience, we did have an intern that I was trained. So in the lab, she had a little bit of lack of understanding of the knot that was behind it, so there's like an assumed one or things. So it's helping her understand that, as well as helping her understand how to equip this work, as well as learning how to communicate with her mentor, as well as other people on the team. So when like she needs more help in that, I probably think we first. So this is position needed.
Great. Chair, tell me a little bit about what your favorite part of the program was.
So during my journey, I had a lot of struggles. And being the only mother of this group, that in itself is a struggle. But what I loved most is how understanding John, Steve, Sadie, everyone was, and I really felt like I had people to support me, and it's just a feeling like you just never get over. And I've had to miss a lot, but I've never felt coming back where I was so far behind that I couldn't move ahead, and I appreciate all the hard work that they put into supporting me and helping me get through this, because if it wasn't for them, I honestly think I never would have completed. So that's my favorite part. Thank you.
Anything we can do. Nikki, same question. What was your favorite part of the program?
My favorite part was how much I've learned and how I've learned so many new things every single day. Before I came to this program, I had no idea about the things we were learning, and just to see myself grow into a lab technician is a really amazing thing. And like some examples are that I didn't know how PCR works. I didn't know all the steps that it takes to find out like where DNA comes from. I didn't know what a fermenter was, and now I know, like, I'm like a completely different, more knowledgeable person, and I just want to thank the teachers for that, because I have really good teachers that really helped me learn and grow.
Can I just say something?
Yeah, absolutely.
Nikki, I just want to praise you and just let you know like how proud I am, because you have literally like the most growth I've seen is in you, and there were questions that I couldn't answer that you were able to answer, and I really hope that you're super proud of yourself, because you really have come a long way, and it's just amazing.
Sure. I think What a lot of people out there.
Thank you so much.
Okay, Colin. Can you tell us what your responsibilities are during?
So I was in the lab ops role. I made a lot of media for the lab. I prepped a lot of plates for scientists where we needed them, and requests for, say, if they need a certain amount by this date. I would make sure that they got that. I also did a few days in manufacturing over in a clean room in Waltham. So I helped them with just riveting manufacturing process for clinical. And I also had a mentor who, when she needed help with stuff, I would help her out with PCRs, mini preps, running gels, etc. But mainly my role was lab ops, supporting the lab and making sure that they had everything that they needed to do what they needed.
Now that they've hired you, is that role going to transition at all, or are they going to be doing the same thing?
There are a few, the manufacturing department and the QC department are both interested in me.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to go into the QC role, but as of right now, I am still in the lab ops and I will continue to do what I've been doing.
Can you just tell real quick, some of them may not know what QC is, please?
That's quality control. So they'll test everything to make sure that what was used to make everything fit the standards and it qualified by the FDA regulation and everything like that.
Colin, can you answer the same question? Can you tell us a little bit about your responsibilities for long?
Sure. Primarily, I am responsible for the cell culture there and all the protein expression compared to people. I've been fortunate enough at Walden where I've also been a part of the pharmacokinetics study that we're doing for dosing of certain antibodies that we're doing.
Is the role going to change now that you're hired and transition to something different, or is it the same?
I will stay in the same position. It's nice to be people.
Great. So for many of these guys, their internship was their first professional experience. They've all worked, but not at the professional level in the sciences that we introduced them to. So, Liana, how did you prepare? How did the academy prepare you to be a professional? And how did you use those skills during the internship?
Okay. So before this, like I said, I was in high school. I was working 2 jobs to make ends meet. And I didn't want to go to college. I can't sit in a classroom and be lectured all day and learn anything. I heard about this program through a few of my counselors actually through school, and when they set up a meeting with me, to John, and like right after talking with John, I was like, okay, I'm applying, this is gonna work. So everything that I've learned here has benefited me very much with bioscience. Sorry. What was my question again? Professionalism?
Yeah, how did the academy prepare you for your role in professional?
So I think the hands-on work that we do here really helps me learn what I need to learn. Working at Twist I've stepped up a lot. I've had to step up a lot. The first month I started working, I was getting my own independent projects. Now I'm working on like 7 or 8 independent projects while having my own intern.
We're training all their interns.
Well, I think that the academy really set me up. I think that if I didn't come here and don't know what I'd do, I'd probably be working at 2 or 3 jobs to make ends meet. Now I live in California where I'm super happy and I get to work with amazing people.
Socks, I'm going to ask you the same question. How did the academy prepare you for the role at Norm?
So similar to many other students here, I also graduated high school last year. So I was fresh out of school and had no experience in the actual workforce other than some small jobs here and there. So coming to the academy, I was really able to experience, for one, what science can be like, and 2, be immersed in an environment where I'm constantly learning. And if anything, I think out of all the skills I learned between taking apart and putting together a fermenter, doing DNA extractions, library prep, and doing pouring plates, I think the skill I take away from most is the fact that they were able to teach us how to adapt quickly and learn quickly in an uncomfortable environment. And that skill solely alone was the skill that allowed me to go into the NOAA Fisheries Lab, not knowing what it is that I was going to do, even though in my interview I had some idea, and figure out how new equipment worked and be able to do the task that they asked me to do without having to worry about not being able to come through it. So I'm really thankful that out of everything that I learned, that single skill alone was the one that stood out.
Anybody else want to add to that? I know I asked this guy that question, but maybe some of you guys have thoughts on this as well. Go ahead and then share.
So Tenzo really just took me in as part of their team. Basically, as soon as I got there, even before I had said anything about a full-time position. So much so that just last week they invited me to a networking event that they were going to, and the academy teaches all of us students a lot of different kinds of career skills. Things like how to talk to people and how to give an elevator pitch and everything like that. And it was really, really amazing to actually use all of those skills. And especially for being within my company and being so new, to be told from one of my higher ups that I seemed really at home and comfortable in this event where I'm talking to a bunch of people about what I do. It was really, really amazing. To feel like I looked like I belonged. Because I'm the only 19-year-old in a room of people with alcohol. It's
Blended with the crowd.
That's good.
Well, Coda kind of covered it. I don't think I've been to so many events in my life since joining this company, and having the skills to really embrace like different cultures and different people in different situations, and learning how to handle that. It really opens your mind to a better environment and a better headspace, and thanks to this program, way more open. And it's really comfortable. I never once walked into my company where I felt uncomfortable or where I couldn't express how I was feeling or ask a question. And I've also learned to accept failure, unfortunately. Yeah, so, and my company encourages it, so it's nice.
Good. Anybody else want to add anything? Yeah, and then Colin.
I just want to say thank you to all the teachers, like for everything that you guys did for all of us, not just me alone, but the understanding of like what things that we were going through in our personal lives, and like still made like time for us to just like sit and talk like we needed it. You went over and beyond like to help us through the program, and I feel like if I didn't come here, I would still be working minimum wage jobs, not being a 19-year-old working at a biotech company with an intern.
I have the power here. I must now.
I would say the confidence that all the teachers here instilled in us, that was vital. Because you gave us the technical skills to do everything, but without the confidence to apply ourselves, to reach out, and understand that we have the skills, we have the knowledge, we can do all this. Without that, none of this would be happening. So the confidence that in the school gave, that was key.
That's the secret of the academy right there. That's it. That's it. If you take nothing else from that, that's it. That's all we do. We dress it up with science, but all it is confidence. That's all it is. It's to show these guys how much they're actually capable. when they apply themselves. So Izzy, what's next for you?
What's next? I'm going to continue working at my internship. I was hired recently. I will be working with systems biology group in that company. After that, while being there, hopefully I'm going to figure out how I can make this happen, but I do plan on enrolling back into college. I want to finish my bachelor's of science in biology. Yeah, I think that's my plan right now for the next 2 years. Let's figure that out. Yeah.
Colby.
Yeah, kind of similar to Dizzy. I got hired for my internship about a month ago, so I'm gonna try and continue learning as much as I can there, and trying to make as many connections as I can with people within the industry for meetings, and take the time to travel some and go back to school eventually. But I'm content where I'm at working.
It's great. I think you guys can see what it's just like in it out. So I'm going to open the floor to the audience. Do you guys have specific questions?
I've got one. Izzy, specifically for you, but will any of the companies you're working for help you do education, like I'm going to say going nights or something like that?
Yes, I did ask that before accepting the offer, and they did mention that they haven't done it for anyone yet since they are still a small company. But they want to support their employees going back to school, so that is something that they're thinking about doing. It hasn't been established yet, but yes.
Any of the rest of you guys inquire about that? Go ahead.
So my company, Dana-Farber, I'm in the process of being hired, and they're actually going to be able to pay a percentage of each of the time for the expanded courses. So,
Holly, I like the story you told us about the position for graduates. Can you describe that there?
Yeah, sure. So at Walden, we've been doing the same research alongside of their research technician one. And they wanted to offer us a job and have us still do that work, but they were unable to give us that title due to not having the degree. So instead of being lab techs, since we're doing a lot more than just what a normal lab tech would be, we created a position for Izzy and I as associates, and they are matching pay.
How do we get more students?
I suggested to John, start young, go to middle school, because my first interest in science was middle school. My science teacher was the best teacher I ever had besides this group, and honestly, touch base with the younger crowd, because they're going to go into high school and they're going to think about it, and then they're going to see you again and they're like, oh yeah. I feel like hitting a younger crowd would be a lot better. My son loves it. He's only in first grade.
Yeah, go ahead, Vicky and Fiona, and then
The way I found out about this program and became a student is I actually found out because my mom went to a meeting at the Northeast Stark and they were talking about Gloucester Biotechnology Academy. So I think that like reaching out to places like that could get more students, like places like Northeast Stark or Macy program, because the Macy program also knew about Gloucester Biotechnology Academy. If there are more students with disabilities, like this school is good for teaching those types of students like me, because it helps with the type of learning style we have.
I think I've had this idea, and I think I've actually brought it up to John before. I think the middle school idea is really good, but also the high school. I think that maybe like a week during the high school year, taking some science classes, like maybe seniors or juniors, bringing them here for the day and bringing them through maybe an experiment, like showing them what it's like to have hands-on work, go through a protocol, and like feel confident about doing something, like teaching them C1V1. That was taught to us today, and like, and we use it all. But I think like I think that if it took maybe like a day to like assign like the science classes at the high school and brought them here for the day and like brought them through like a short protocol or something, that would be great. I think a lot of kids would be more interested in coming here. I know they go to the high school and like talk about the academy and everything, but I think seeing it like hands on and like actually being here and like being like around all the equipment, like when I first came in here and saw the equipment, it's like I don't want it. Like there's too much expensive stuff. But I think like that would be a great opportunity for kids at high school.
So similar to what everybody's touching on here, I think a lot of the school systems, not just here but all over the nation, don't exactly do a great job at really allowing kids to do physical science. I feel like it's more oriented around projecting it on a screen and showing them what Phil Nye the Science Guy can do, or what it looks like, not what it can be at the lab. I went to high school and we had really nice labs, but never did we ever get to really use the equipment that we had. And so, just like Liana said, I was the same way when I came and took a tour of the lab. I was like, all this equipment's too expensive. I'm gonna break it. I'm gonna be out. It's just not gonna work out for me because I never had the experience with any equipment. It was always done by the teacher, or it's just we were never allowed to use it. So I think the academy does a really great job of allowing students to experiment with how the equipment works, while being supervised, of course, but allowing us to feel comfortable with maybe some failures and trying to learn from those instead of having to read about it and then never use it. So I think that alone would intrigue a lot more students to be into the sciences, because I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I wasn't really into reading the articles all that much in class when we had to do it. I did it so that I could be a good student, but I was all about the hands-on stuff. So, and that's what really brought me to the sciences, really getting into it. Holly, do you have something?
Yeah. I think as one of the older students here, I think there's also an aspect that we overlook. There is a few people that are in between the age ranges of 27 and 34 that are underemployed that you might know personally, and you're like, they could do so much better. But the way life works, you have to make money, you have to hit certain milestones regardless. So I think we need to open it up to older people who still want that change their career. Because I know I didn't come here. I wouldn't say I would be poor. Well, it turns out, as I was looking at poverty levels, maybe. I didn't know enough about them, but you think you're making like 41, 42, and you're like, this is okay. Like, look, I got a mortgage. But you're at like a job that you really don't like. You're not fulfilled. You're not excited. And, you wish you were afforded opportunities when you were younger, or maybe you wish life was different, or whatever outside factors came into play. I think there's a real big community there that we're missing, and we can also, along with the children.
Or the young ones.
I second that with Holly, because a lot of these hands-on programs really aren't geared toward the older folk. And a lot of us aren't we don't want to go to college. We're at the point we have families. We need something that's going to be reliable and get us to the next point in our lives and better pay. And a lot of these programs don't accept anyone over the age of 26. And a lot of us are restarting at 26 or 30, and we want to be able to experience something new and exciting. And this is by far exciting. So, I mean, I am grateful I got the opportunity, especially at my age. And I agree with Holly 100%.
I think it's actually really important for us all as alumni to be speaking about our experiences here in GBA, because we live live in a day and age where where at least people my age watched our parents grow up and work really hard to go to college and then get nothing out of a degree. And it's really easy to get disheartened by the state of things, to feel like you're always going to be at a minimum wage job, or you're never going to feel like you're working for something that's going to make the world better. And I think it's really important for us as alumni to show people that it is out there and it is accessible, and your only options aren't just work at Shaw's or work on a degree. For me, I had to go to a tech school for high school because I didn't feel like I was working towards anything. And working towards that certificate towards the end of high school is what made all those years worth it for me. And that's what made my time here worth it for me, knowing that at the end, I'm going to be getting something out of it. That's not just a certificate. That's more than just a pat on the back, essentially. I think it's really important for us to show that this works and that it can work for others as well.
I think Cora, I'm sorry.
So mentioning how Corey went to technical school, I also went to technical high school. I think it is also really important to show like technical high schools who are already interested in well, not the traditional way of like going to school and a job. I think it's important to show like other technical schools that this program exists, especially people that are more interested in sciences but don't have like the ambition to go to college. So if you want to go to college but say you here instead of involved in sciences, when you're already involved in technical schools, they already have an idea of going to university and solving this problem.
I just want to touch on something that Chloe said about us as alumni, helping classes in the future. I think during the time here we had mentors, and I think that if you and some of our mentors were alumni, that would be something that would be super helpful. I know when Madeline came in, for example, I actually really liked talking to her because she not only was a student here, but now she teaches here, and she knows exactly what we went through, and we can kids in the lab, and going through that, I think that maybe some alumni should try to get them to mentor, and I think that would help a lot of students. I know some of the mentors did really great for a lot of us, and some weren't like they're helpful, but not always helpful because they're busy with their lives. I think that people who actually went through the program to mentor people to go through the program would be super helpful.
Great idea. I think we have time for one or two. Okay. So before we close, I'd like to recognize the Mayor of Gloucester, Greg Berger. I'd also like to thank the city of Gloucester for their continued support for the program over the years. Mayor Berger, I don't put you on the spot. I don't know if you want to say anything.
From here, I'd have to say this is an exciting time for you folks. Exciting time for us that this is a realization, or I guess a dream from 10 years ago when this all began. So I look forward to this continuing and expanding, and a lot of great ideas about expanding the age range. Someone who went to college from 19 to 30. I think it's a great idea to expand to us older folk.
So thank you guys. Thank all of these donors and supporters of the Academy for your time. I think you see how life-changing an experience this is from the words and thoughts of our students this morning. None of this is possible without all of your support. So thank you so much for everything you do for us. Thank you guys for sharing. Thank you for being vulnerable and telling your story. I think it means a lot. As I said to you guys earlier, I think these guys taught us a lot about how we teach and how we manage, more so than any other class has. So I am forever grateful for having met all of you this year. All right. So, good luck with everything. We have graduation Thursday night. If any of you have not registered for graduation or still want to come, come to Ashley. You guys have your graduation practice over at Cape Ann Museum at 11 o'clock. I don't know what time it is right now. So you guys have 45 minutes to get over there. We'll do a walkthrough so that you guys are all ready for Thursday night. But thank you again. I appreciate it. Feel free to mingle if you want to stick around for a while. You guys make sure you're home by 11.